Alright, so real fast, I'm taking apart the blaze yellow because I'm putting the tubs in. That's all been degreased, as you guys got to see from the previous video, and now I'm getting it up to par to where I can take out the wiring harness. So I grabbed the carpet, I'm ready to start unplugging everything, and I kind of like folded this thing over like this, and then I went, what? 3/13, that's my birthday. I'm like, March 13th is my birthday, and that right there is a manufacturer date. That's when this is put together. So I'm like, nah, wait a minute. Let me see this real quick. Let me see if it's actually put together in March. So I come down here, look down here, and I go, holy cow, March 2001. Well, I'll be damned. This car was literally put together on my birthday. Like, if that's not fate, I don't know what is. Like, this is my car. Like, there was a feeling when I got this car, and so much so that, like, I owned a Sonic Yellow also as well, and I had the Sonic Yellow parked right here for, like, the longest time, but there was just something about this Blaze Yellow that just, it kept my eye, you know, I was just on it. And even though this one is in way worse condition than the Sonic Yellow was, this one being more rare, I don't know, it was just something about the color or something. I don't know what it is, but like this car just, it kept drawing me towards it. So I sold the Sonic Yellow and moved on towards this, you know. And I mean, looking back on it now, that feeling that I had is now solidified by taking that carpet off and seeing when this car was put together. Like, holy shit, like this thing was put together on my birthday? What? Alright, so this is the harness that goes up and through here, and that plug, as you can see, just unplugs from there. And then you've got that yellow plug that also feeds down. That's actually the reason why I was actually underneath this rug in the first place. That's why you got to be able to pull this door sill molding up, pull this carpet up and over, and then you can find that yellow plug. You can see it right there hanging. So that's your plug. That's the one you're going to unplug. See that white tab? You actually slide that all the way towards the back, towards the actual wiring harness itself, and then it'll pop out. So that's the one plug that you got to do before you can actually pull that wiring harness up and through. And then now all of this can actually be fed and then thrown off to the side. That's actually what we're going to do now. So if you're wondering how to actually get the wiring harness up and out of your way, that is the way. You have to unplug it from there. That way you can feed everything all up and out through this hole. In order to get the fuse box, obviously that ain't going to fit through that little tiny hole. You'd have to take the fuse box apart, and on the inside of this cover here, you can start unplugging it, and there's also a 10mm in there that you're going to need to take off also as well for the ground. I don't do that. I got a cutoff wheel. I literally just cut the steel off that's around it, and then just pull this thing on through as one big unit. Makes it a lot easier, especially when it comes time for the relocation of it. Yeah, it just saves time and having to take things apart. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into a little bit of time lapse and take this thing apart just a little bit more, and we'll go from there.
Why the hell you wanna play me that way? You're bad. you best believe it. I'ma rip you up to pieces. I'm a lover, not a fighter, but I'll light this place on fire. I want it, I want it, but baby, at least I'm honest. I get tired of explaining as these seasons keep on changing. Life goes on and 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 on. Yeah, 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 yeah. On and 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 on. Yeah, 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 yeah. On and 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 on. Yeah, 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 yeah. On and 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 on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Work all day and then I wake up. Work all day and then I wake up. Work all day and then I wake up. Work all day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Work all day and then I wake up. Work all day and then I wake up. Work all day and then I wake up. Work all day.
Alright, so time to explain the next step. So you saw already that I had the tubs in placement and everything is all traced and ready to go. As you can see from all of the lines, I basically can start cutting and create myself a void in this section as well as this section here so I can weld in the tubs. Before I can do so, I do have these brake lines. They are in the way, especially over on the passenger side. I'm really not trying to cut into those. Ideally, I am going to just be relocating the ABS unit. I would like to keep it, so that's what I'm going to do. I do make ABS relocation kits. It just makes that ABS unit so where it sits now, it just goes up and under, and it just sits right here now. So it's pretty easy. I run all the lines right up on the inside here, and then I normally just put a piece of sheet steel over the actual lines itself. If it's really nice and flat up against the frame rail, you can actually run them on the inside, you can run them on the outside, whatever you so choose. I like running them on the inside, and then I just put a piece of sheet steel over them like a heat shield basically, and bolt that right to the car. So basically seamlessly hiding those and keeping them, you know, as rust proof as possible, especially from the elements. Also, it's nice and slim and out of the way. So that's how I do that. I like to relocate these right here. So basically that's all you're doing is you're just moving it on the other side of this sheet metal and then putting this unit below this panned area. Pretty easy concept. It's really not that hard. Actually, with a little bit of manipulation, you can actually straighten out a lot of these lines and actually move this ABS unit basically anywhere in this area. It's not a problem. I do make a water protection box for it, so when it does go to the relocated spot underneath here, it will be in a box with a nice top on it. You know, hardware, be able to take it off and keep it out of the elements. So with that said, the next step is to actually start taking apart all of the brake assembly. I've got to jump underneath the dash and disconnect this booster here from the actual brake pedal itself so that I can basically just pull all of these lines, etc., all out as one unit. I tend to just disconnect it from the actual splitter here so that all these lines and that splitter comes right out. I leave just a splitter kind of just flopping off, and I usually pull it up and over on top of the actual strut tower area here. It's up and out of the way, and then I just kind of tape it up, you know, just so it doesn't get any damage to it. So that's what that's the next step right now. Basically just going to move all of this brake lines out of the way. You want to disconnect them from the calipers themselves also as well. So here's the thing. So you're going to have to disconnect basically everything. As you can see, I just leave them free floating so that all I have to do is in here. You see that bracket that is welded to the side. So that's going to hold your brake line. It normally has like a rusty clip here that you pulled out, and then this line will come right up and out. I usually will just take a cut-off wheel. I shear that right off, and then this all drops down as one unit. The calipers with the brake line, the whole assembly, and I just kind of pick it up and drag it all off to the side. And it's all one big unit. So when it comes time for reinstallation, I really just pick up the whole thing as one big unit, and then I put the booster back in, and then I hook everything up. It makes things a lot easier, you know, and then taking things apart and, you know, and having it in 50 different pieces when it could just be one big section. So make things easier for yourself. That's just a nice little tip that I can give you. Other than that, I'm going to jump into, you know, the deconstruction of these brake lines and get this assembly out of the way, mainly because I can't weld or cut around it.
Shit. I've been on your ass for 20 days, and I've been riding around this bitch looking for David. That nigga tryna take my money cause I made it. Little pussy, I'ma make you feel this bladed. All your bitches coming to me cause they love me. She say, daddy, I could feel it in my tummy. Pussy nigga tryna call his fucking mommy. You be laughing, but I swear this shit ain't funny. You been tryna tell me all this shit, but bitch, I'm done. Leo crib, you'll find me dancing in Afghanistan. She be tryna tell me that she know that I'm the one. I just fuck that bitch inside the whip and then I run. I'm so focused on this shit, it got me going crazy. Take you to my secret place if you my baby. Don't you try to talk to me cause you ain't from my side. I make all these niggas focus on me till I die. Flotation. Cause they say that I'm a bad kid. All because I'm paid from these stories that I made. All I think about is bad shit. I can't help myself, they just tryna take my